If you want more rental units by maximizing this one easy to learn skill, stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to show you how we bought this 8 unit with $140,000 of equity from one simple step. Let's start from the beginning. Once upon a time, there was this 19-year-old college dropout named Carter Crowley. He was more introverted than extroverted, but when he got into real estate, he knew that had to change. Through hosting open houses, meeting with buyers, meeting with sellers, trying to win on listing presentations, he became a fairly well-rounded communicator. Communication skills which were lacking years prior when he was just going to college or even graduating high school. At that point, he probably would have been labeled socially awkward or possibly even shy by his parents, by his family members, but he had to overcome the hurdle to have success in the real estate niche. Yet through trial and error, rejection and success, the light finally turned on. And do you want to know what it took? It takes practice, repetition, and most importantly, confidence. Confidence in one's own skills and the knowledge of the topic at hand. And the topic of real estate is truly simple, whether it's rental property, flipping houses, wholesaling houses, or multifamily real estate. And that one thing they have in common, I will get into in just a second. But let's fast forward 5 years to the 8-unit property I had mentioned in the beginning of this video. So this 8-unit property we bought back in April of 2021. It was bought after I attended and joined a coaching program, shout out Rod Cleave, for multifamily real estate. And I was interested in getting into multifamily real estate, but the first thing I needed to do was gain some knowledge on it. We'd been in the flipping and wholesaling business for years, so I was very well versed in that, but multifamily real estate is different. And I had listened to Rod's show for the last 2, 3, 4 years, so I knew he was the one that I wanted to get started with. But what was more important than learning everything to know about multifamily real estate, I needed the confidence to take action, which I was able to grab from this course alone. I became well informed. I knew what an LOI was. I knew how to evaluate deals, and I knew what to say to owners or brokers when I had reached out to them. But the one approach that I was not fond of was reaching out to brokers to get deals. It went against everything that we had done in our single family wholesaling and flipping business to date. We haven't bought an on-market deal since 2015, and I wasn't going to do the same in multifamily real estate, so I had this realization in my mind. And the realization was the following. Why don't I just reach out to these owners directly? I can find the properties, I can do a little driving for dollars or pull a list, I can skip trace them, and then reach out to these owners directly and have a conversation and start negotiating if they have interest in selling. And that's exactly what I did. So I pulled a list of multifamily property in our area. It was ranging from about 4 units up to about 60 units in size because that's our ideal prospects, some mom and pop landlords. And I started cold calling through this list. And of course you get the dozens of, how'd you get my number? I'm not interested. Don't call me again or I'm gonna call the cops on you. But then the magical moment of someone actually saying, yeah, I would consider an offer on my property. And that gentleman's name was Ken. I thought to myself, what did Ken just say? Did he say he was interested in an offer on his property? And I panicked for a couple seconds. I was like stumbling over my words because throughout the cold calling, I had no one interested in selling up until that point. But then I said to Ken, well, awesome, Ken, that sounds amazing. I guess, was it something you were considering in the near future? And I took the conversation from there. So Ken and I went back and forth and he said, Carter, if you can present me with a ballpark range that's agreeable, then I would further the conversation with you. So I did some due diligence. I got all the information from him regarding basic rents, the average rental rate, the occupancy of the property, and this was an 8-unit property. 4 1-bedrooms, 4 2-bedrooms, and the average rent was about $200 to $300 below the current market. Ken had owned this property for the last 13 years and never raised rent once. He even leased up a recent rental unit for $450 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit, and it's in nice condition. This wasn't a slumlord, it was just an owner who didn't want the hassle. And he kept telling me on the phone, my tenants are amazing, they've been there for years, and I hardly have any turnover, and I keep the place in good condition. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, Well, of course you're not going to have any turnover when the rental rates are 200 to 300 below the average market or the rest of the properties in the city. But after checking out the numbers a little bit further, we decided to give him a ballpark range of $400,000 to $450,000 for 8 units. And to my surprise, Ken told me, actually, I think that would work. Can you send me over something in writing, an LOI as we would call it, stating your interest in the property and the terms that you are presenting to me as of right now? So that's exactly what I did. I typed up an LOI that I found through the coaching program and I emailed it over to Ken right away. And then his realtor, he had a realtor that he was working with or that he preferred to work with on his side of things. She had reached out and said, okay, Carter, let's put together the purchase and sale agreement and get this thing rolling. And it's history from there. And now today, after raising the rent several $100s over the course of the last 9 months and tenants moving out and transitioning and so on and so forth, the property is worth at least, if not over $540,000 at the time of this recording. And now you're still probably wondering, what's that one common skill that Carter referred to in the beginning of this video? And that skill is talking to people. Without the ability to cold approach someone and reach out to them out of the blue, you're going to struggle in any avenue of real estate investing, because it is so important to build relationships with brokers, with lenders, with other agents, and with sellers, most importantly, so you can get deals like this way below market value and ultimately have success for yourself and your family. This one single cold call turned into $140,000 in equity within the last 9 months, and it keeps going up from there. This property is going to produce cash flow for years to come and has very little maintenance and overhead expenses compared to the average property. By improving your communication skills, building your confidence, and knowing what you're talking about, you will be able to build equity in these deals for yourself with little to no money out of your own pocket. And if you're interested in learning my blueprint for investing in real estate in your 20s, watch this video right here where I break it down for you.